if I want to retire before 60, should I handle my savings for retirement differently than if I was going to retire at a more common age, like 65?
Okay. Yeah. So it depends. Again, it really depends on the outflows and whatnot that's going on. If you're younger than 59 and a half and you're going to retire, we got to deal with, the penalties on these IRAs. Um, and really, the way that we go through this, as you know, I mean, we gather the data, we find out the goals, we find out, what somebody's trying to spend, what other income sources they have coming in, and we go through a financial planning process using Monte Carlo simulation that really tells us what somebody should have, right? So that's the starting spot. And how much stock, how much bond, what do they need to do, and then essentially they're able to then put in their own desires for their own risk tolerance, and we kind of go from there. So yeah, I think it makes some difference, but there's no like blanket answer. It really is more custom to each person.
Yeah, a common thing we see is having some money outside your retirement accounts. So like kind of like a bridge account.
Yeah.
Because the only way to access your money if it's in a retirement account is 72T.
Yep.
And the only issue with the 72T is that once you lock into that 72T, you're stuck with it until you're, I think it's 5 years
5 years. Yeah.
or so there's no change in your payments. So if you get that wrong, you're going to have a lot of issues.
Could be more than 5 years. It's 59 and a half or 60. I can't remember. It's one of those two. I think it's 59 and a half or 5 years, whichever is longer. So if you actually retire at this is what's called the rule of 72T. It's a way of getting money out of your IRAs without having to pay the penalty. Even though you're not 59 and a half yet, you can use this rule, but it has restrictions. And so you have to take it out for at least 5 years or until you turn 50, 59 and a half. Yeah, that's exactly right. So ideally, if you have time and you're going to retire before that, you'd want to build up some assets outside of those accounts, like you say, as a bridge, just to kind of get through that time frame. I'm a big believer that you should build up assets outside of your retirement plans anyway, just because there's all kinds of different tax issues and liquidity issues that come into play. And I've seen clients that have a better balance, seem to have a better retirement as far as that goes too. So I don't think there's enough attention paid to trying to achieve a balance. And you'd probably want to pay even more attention to that if you were retiring early, before 59 and a half, especially.